Hello, Libra. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Libra is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your tarot card reading. Remember to hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. If there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I provide. And remember, Libra, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And here we have the lust or strength card as your as your subjective experience of life. I feel like you are powerful. I feel like right now you are feeling a great passion for something in your life. This is maybe a creative passion. This is maybe a real zest and real enthusiasm, a real lust for life. Yeah, it's kind of like we are really riding the crest of a wave here. And I think you're in a very creative mode. I think you're in a very focused, but very kind of spontaneous. This isn't like a rigid and kind of fixed or stuffy kind of procedural energy. This is like focused creativity. Yeah, and a lot of passion. I think that you're a very brave person. There's a lot of courage in you because you're really, it's like you're taking a chance on yourself. You're putting yourself out there. Maybe you're doing you're doing an art showing, or you're doing some kind of a performance, or you really are kind of living a life that feels unimpeded. It feels like your own thoughts are just like not getting in your way. It feels like you have a kind of a consolidation of fire behind you, and it's just pushing you forward. There's real motivation here. This is intensity, yeah. This is a real strength, a real capability. Feels like a stature, feels like a power. Yeah. Let's put this card into a little bit of context. Let's see what is going on with you this week. There we have the 8 of Cups. We have a 10 of Swords. We have a Princess of Pentacles. We have the 7 of Swords. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Oh, yes. Very good. You're headed straight toward the Wheel of Fortune. But of course, we have this heart and mind stuff that we've got to deal with, our thoughts and feelings. We have a 4 of Wands. We have the Eon, Judgment, Rebirth, Reawakening. We have the Devil energy. Okay. I get the idea here. And we have a 9 of Swords. With the Devil energy, it feels like this is kind of a big urgent kind of warning, right? A big news, because it feels like the Devil is a temptation of some kind that will really throw you off course. Something is trying to distract you or pull you away from right now what your power is driving you toward. What this passion is pushing you toward, and really this is going to be amazing profit. This is going to be success and expansion. This is a real big fortune, great good fortune here. But something is trying to pull you away from that. There is something that's trying to block your path, and it feels like it's going to be something that's going to tempt you to go astray from this. Okay, if this is about a romantic relationship that you're in, this is going to be the Devil here. And because the Devil's in the position of what we don't want. We don't want to fall victim to this temptation because it's something that will ultimately lead to our downfall if we succumb to it. Okay, it's something that may be presenting itself as a very good option, but what we don't want to do with this 8 of Swords, or 8 of Cups, is move away from what we're doing now. See, the 8 of Cups is, maybe this is a sense of doubt. Maybe this is something even coming from inside of you, because it's kind of saying that what you're doing is not worth it and you should leave it. So it may be that there is somebody in your life that's trying to convince you to abandon the path that you're on. Don't do it. Don't do that, because I think that the Nine of Swords is way worse than whatever is going on now, right? This is not the outcome we want. And I think that if we fail to deal properly with this temptation and we abandon our work right now, we're lost. Okay? We're headed for a pit of despair. Because in the Eight of Cups, generally, this card is saying, well, this isn't good for me anymore. I'm going to walk away from it. This is something I'm going to leave it alone. And so in other tarot packs, we'll see the Hermit walking away from a stack of cups, right? Kind of crossing a river, getting out of there. And I think this is the blockage. This is the temptation from that devil energy right now that's trying to see. Maybe it feels like a test. Okay? You have this intense fire energy, this creative will behind you. Feels like the force of the universe is sort of propelling you forward. This is the temptation that says, oh, just abandon what you're doing. It's not worth it. It's kind of saying, you don't really like this, do you? Or you know that there's something better out there for you, don't you? Trying to tempt you away, lure you away from what you're doing right now. But your fire has to be stronger than this water. Obviously, this Leo energy, this is a really fiery card. Fire and water, who's going to win? Well, major arcana win every time. So this fire is going to overpower the water. Fire and water are antagonistic to each other, and they tend to weaken each other. So you might feel that your motivation or your enthusiasm is starting to wane a little bit, okay? But you're going to keep it going, and this is going to be removed. This is going to be defeated. You're going to have to use a little bit of energy to defeat that, and you're going to feel a little bit kind of less enthusiastic about your path, but you're easily going to vanquish this and overcome and continue with your momentum and get to that real jackpot. This is a real dream come true. We don't want anything to interfere with this process. I mean, look at the horizontal path here. You've invested in something. You've taken something that, at first it wasn't there, and you're putting your energy, you got the fire and earth aspect here, right? You're applying your energy to improve this, and this is kind of an investment. Yeah. And it's going to bring you exponential returns. It's going to pay dividends. This could be a physical or financial goal. This could be a relationship goal. This could be an art form or some kind of creative process. You feel motivated and passionate about it now. Don't let this come in. This is really unwanted. I think you're going to recognize this for what it is. And you're going to be strong enough to say, you're not fooling me. Okay? But that's kind of the urgent news. Be careful for something that's going to try to lure you away from the path that you're on. Let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. This is a random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot. This is the factor infinite and unknown. We're going to set it over here and put Alien Simon Mork Ripley right there on top. We're not going to look at that card until the very end, but it will tie everything together. It will give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading. If at any moment during this message you feel like you might know what that card could be, put your prediction in the comments down below. Now, as we look around the room, we do see obviously our major arcana energies. Okay, this is a doorway to the future. This is a leveling up. Okay, this is the Wheel of Fortune, the trust, the cycles of life, and it's kind of a card that's saying we need to have faith, hope, and trust that this is the way forward and go through this doorway. If we start to doubt, if we get distracted by this, if we succumb to this temptation or this other energy, we're going to go here. Okay, we don't want to go. We want to transform this to a 9 of Cups, right? Happiness. This is unhappiness. And it all depends on how we deal with this temptation. This can be a dream come true, or it can be a nightmare. We don't want to aim our trajectory toward despair. We need to not succumb to this. Okay, this could be creeping doubt inside of you. This could be coming, I believe it's coming through the form of another person. I feel like somebody in your life is telling you, oh, that's not going to work out. You don't want to do that. You don't really like that. Think of how much better it would be if you went over there somewhere, right? But you're not going to listen to that. You're not going to be distracted. You're trying to stay laser focused and keep this momentum, keep this surge of vibrant, vital zest and robust energy. Keep your motivation, keep your enthusiasm. Even though you may feel it diminishing a little bit. Sometimes this is the card that's just like, it's feeling hopeless. There's a little bit of that kind of doubt or a little bit of that emotional uncertainty. We're kind of losing a little bit of our momentum. Okay? You need to push through it. Don't abandon your path right now. This is going to be glorious for you. Okay? So we have our majors. We have fire over here, water right here, air, and air, and a little bit of earth, right? The earth is where we have started. The water is part of our heart and mind now that it's kind of like a little bit of discouragement. It's a little bit of this kind of this hopelessness creeping in. It's a little bit of dread, maybe a little bit of fear or worry. I think that it's coming in through your mind, through your thought process, and I believe that it has something to do with another person that is, kind of planting those seeds of doubt in a way. But let's go under the surface and look at the Ten of Swords. This is the card of the removal of illusions, the breaking out of a birdcage, the freeing of ourselves, okay? I think you're somebody that can recognize the illusions, that you're on this path and you're charging forward full speed ahead. And you can see that the obstacles in front of you are not really there because they seem like they're phantasms, they're mental constructs. Okay? The doubts, the worries, the obstacles are mental. Okay? And so we can breeze right through those and they just dissipate like a cloud of incense, I think you're somebody who is leveling up their lives. I think that you've gotten out of the birdcage, out of the kind of safe space of life, out of the kind of routine, out of like the storm shelter, The birdcage energy for me feels like a place that's limiting our full potential. And I think that whatever is tempting you right now and saying, oh, come over here, it's warm here by the fire, I have all the food you want, kind of going like this to you, you can see it for being fake. You can see it for being illusion. This is a dry hole. This is a desiccated, dry and desiccated thing. So even though somebody's tempting you, come this way, you can see right through it. Okay, there's just bones here. There's nothing of value if you make this this turn. If you take that temptation. Okay, and I like that it's an 8 of Cups because it's like we can see that this is like already it's a rotten apple. Okay, so we're not being fooled by that illusion, by that temptation. I think that in your life. You'd say that you've been gullible in the past, like a long time ago, maybe once, right? We're not going to do it again. It's like, yeah, I let myself be trapped and ensnared and captured and put into the birdcage and I'm not doing it again. I know what my freedom looks like. I know that the only limitations are in my own mind. Of course, there are physical limitations. There are things that happen outside of us that we can't control and all that stuff. But the only thing preventing me from really blazing this trail is my own doubt and these illusions of, these fears and things like that. Okay. Spirit's saying something about sign language that you know how to sign or something. Yeah, the ASL, right? I think you understand your true nature. I think you have a good sense of who you are. You're very aware of the games that people play and the way that even the games that we sometimes play with ourselves. Okay, the way there is something in us that when we're doing the great work, something comes in and sort of plants that seed of doubt. Somebody says something and we're like, oh, I kind of lose a little bit of my steam. Suddenly my lust card is slowing down a little bit and I just think, oh, maybe they're right. Wait, nope. Get your foot back on the gas, I think you understand how the inner critic works, how the self-sabotage works. I think you understand the power of positive thinking. And I think that we're not going to go back into the birdcage, you know? We're spreading our wings in a major way here. I think this is going to be really, really good for you. I think that it's going to lead to tremendous profitability. I don't know if there's something financial going, but I feel like there's a money aspect to it. And we're not going to limit ourselves. It's kind of like we know that if I stay here and I do what I've always done, I know that I'm not going to get what I want. I know that I'm not going to achieve my potential. So if we're taking some kind of an investment, right, we're taking a gamble, we're taking a risk on ourselves, right? There's no absolute guarantee that things are going to work out well, that we're going to get a return on the investment. But what is guaranteed is that if you don't do it, you're not going to get the return. You're not going to get the profit. You're not going to change your life. You're not going to level up. You're not going to get all of this fortune and glory, right? If we don't take a chance. And equally so, I think you know that if you succumb to this is like you swerving out of the way of the road, and we're going to go right off the road, and it's going to be bad news bears. You know that if you fall victim to this, you won't get this. Now, it's kind of like saying to your friend, I don't know if I'm going to make it, but I know that I absolutely won't make it if I don't try. If I let this doubt creep into my heart, I'm not going to do it. If this is a romantic relationship for you, I don't think that it is, but it could be. Right? It's kind of like saying, that I believe that this is the one, and I think this could be it. I think this can make me happy. I don't know for sure, but I'm gonna give it everything I have. I'm not gonna be scared. I'm not gonna be tempted to quit. I mean, we'll be tempted, and maybe we will be scared, but we're not gonna succumb to that fear. Maybe this is you in your career, and this is going to be some kind of a temporary love interest that's trying to take you away from your passion, your craft, your art. Okay? So whatever form this takes, it's creeping into your heart, and it's giving you the suggestion, it's planting that suggestion that you should turn away from this and take whatever this is. But you can see through that. You know that it leads to pain and not to your great good fortune. So depending on your scenario, right, these details will mean something else. Yeah, these details will mean something different to you. It could be that this is your career, and this is a kind of a love interest that, is kind of like, that if you were to give in to this temptation, it would really throw your career off track. Okay, or your creativity, or whatever this might be. Now, in the background, we have the Princess of Pentacles. This is the previous state of things. This is who you were previous to right now. And this is somebody that has a great potential, but hasn't fulfilled it yet. Right? This is a lot of the verdant energy underneath the surface. The Princess of Pentacles is the card that is going to, or could, transform into the Empress, right? Which is the fully realized. This is kind of like the dead of winter. Things aren't growing. There's no life here. It's kind of like it's barren, sterile. With the right work, the right investment, that life can grow. Something can really flourish here. Okay, so this is us before we've set out on that journey to fulfill our nature. Yeah. And to bring about the growth and the life and the success and all that stuff. So this is kind of us before this, This is the previous version of us. And now you have activated that creative fire energy with courage, bravery, and with belief. Yeah. Belief in ourselves, believing that we're capable of this. Okay. So it's kind of like we're making an investment in ourselves. And as part of this path, it's natural that we're going to be tempted to quit. Something's going to tempt us into saying, like, it's not going to happen, or I don't believe it, I don't want it anymore, there's something easier that I could go do, or I'm never going to make it. It's that creeping doubt, okay? but this is an investment in you, in your life. Maybe it's a financial investment. Maybe this is a career thing. Maybe this is you going back to school. I don't know what it was. But this is you before. And it's saying like, this is the old version of me, and I know that I need to grow from this point. And that's why this is in the past, because we don't want to go back to who we were. And we're not changing who we were, but we're expanding. We're building upon what we've always been. The verdant energy, all the green, right, is still there. It's just under the surface. We're trying to bring it out of ourselves, right, or out of this job, or out of this life, or whatever it is particularly. This is like we bought the house, and this is our house, and now we're going to fix the house up. We're going to expand. We're going to build upon this and make it something extraordinary. We're going to continue to grow, right? We don't want to go backwards and kind of undo the progress that we've made, because that's exactly what falling victim to this Eight of Cups would do. It would set us back. We would backslide into this previous state. We would undo all the progress that we've made. Now we go up here to the Seven of Swords. This is, very similar. This is a card of distractions. This is the card of really the futility of distracting agents out there. You're not someone that can be distracted right now. You've got that Ace of Swords right in the middle. You are focused. You have made up your mind, and you're fixed on your goal, and you're doing it. And you feel powerful. You feel this excitement. You feel this ecstasy about it. You feel, really creative and really motivated and enthusiastic. This is a lot of criticism, a lot of doubt. We're being aware of those other thoughts, those other messages, those other people that might be trying to throw you off your game. But what we see about this card is very interesting too, because those little daggers that are trying to interfere with your commitment, these other daggers aren't actually touching you. They're not touching that central sword. So this is that fearlessness that says, I'm plowing straight through them because I know that they're not real. I know that these doubts or these fears or these apparitions are just a fog in my path. And you're shooting straight ahead like an arrow. It's going to cut right through the smoke. Smoke and mirrors. It's a bunch of bovine excrement, right? And we're not even slowing down. We may slow down a little bit, but we're certainly not slowing down much. We're not coming to a stop. You're going to go right through this, and they're going to scatter. Okay. I feel like this is some kind of an emotional appeal. Something or someone is going to try to discourage you by playing on your emotions, by trying to plant a seed of doubt. This is kind of like a thought virus that seeps into our heart. We start to believe it, and then we start to feel it, and before we know it, we've stopped the car, we've gotten out of the car, we've given up, we've walked away. Spirit does not want you to walk away from this no matter what happens, no matter how tempted we might be or how afraid we might get. Don't walk away from this. Okay? Now, in the future position, Wheel of Fortune, Jupiter energy, expansion, growth, profit, right? Promotion, ascendancy. Really, really good stuff. The wheel is turning in your favor. So this is kind of saying, like, back here, maybe we felt like we were kind of at the bottom of the wheel. We're at the bottom of the ladder. We're at the bottom of the mountain, maybe. This is saying that you're being propelled right up to the top of the mountain. We don't want to get distracted or tempted to do anything else right now, but keep going toward the mountain. Do not succumb to the distractions or the criticisms or the doubt. Spirit is, in this sense, kind of, in a way, promising us our dream come true. Saying that if we keep going ahead, things are going to get better, things are going to expand. We're going to be lifted up. Spirit will put the right people, places, and things on your path when and where you need them. And you have to know how to interact and engage with those things, people, places, and things, right? This is a card of synchronicity. This is the card of trusting, having faith and hope, believing that this is the way forward, believing that you're on the right path and to keep going. If this is your romantic relationship or your marriage, Stick with it. Keep doing it. It's going to continue to grow and get better and bring you more and more blessings, more and more miracles. Even though there will be people that tempt you to quit or to walk away from something, Spirit's telling you not to walk away from it. To keep going. Recognize the phantoms for what they are and keep going straight ahead. Okay. I feel like you're a person of few words right now. Yeah. I feel like you're in your intense creative energy and this motivation. You don't really have time to converse and entertain a lot of other people or a lot of discussions right now. I feel like we're not trying to talk too much. We're just trying to keep going, trying to keep doing this. You have willpower and you have focus. You have an ability to withstand the doubt, the criticism, the distractions, and the temptations. And this is going to be a dream come true. This is going to be a real attainment. Okay? And I feel like there is some kind of a financial thing going on. And Spirit's showing me dolphins for someone. I don't know, someone out there has a connection with dolphins or a dolphin tattoo. Okay. You can hear my cat in the hallway. We have a hairless Sphinx cat. I think she's confirming this reading for us. I can hear her out in the hallway there. We're going to talk about the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I would like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed, please do. The readings are totally free. It really does help out the channel, and I really appreciate you. So your general energy is the Four of Wands. Now, Four of Wands is a Venus in Aries energy. And what that's telling me is that you are making this change. It's kind of like the house. It's kind of like we're renovating our house, you know. We're trying to create the life that appeals to us. Okay? We're trying to create the life we want. Venus and Aries, what we love. We're motivated to go after what we love. Truly love, not some kind of, not some kind of emotional distraction, but what is really meaningful to us. And I feel like this is an energy that says, I'm following through with this. I believe that this is going to make my life better, and I need to go through this. I need to keep doing it and follow through, and I need to get to the end. I need to complete this quest. Four of Wands is a card of completion. The Four of Wands is human timing, whereas the Wheel of Fortune is divine timing. So I feel like you're trying to synchronize your watch here, right? We're trying to understand the flow of events. We're trying to understand that Spirit has put certain people, places, and things on our path, and we're trying to understand how we can harmonize with those people, places, and things. If something's happening in your life right now, it's because it's meant to happen, and you have to understand, okay, how do I respond to that? I can't say, this is what I'm doing, and Spirit better just, rearrange things in order to synchronize with me. No, it doesn't work that way. This is what's happening in your life, and this is how you must respond to the environment, okay, to the synchronicities, to the unfolding of your destiny, which means that this temptation that's coming your way, this is a necessary thing. This is on your path for a reason. This is a test, and it's up to you how you respond to it, okay? And the way you respond to it right now is really going to affect your future. This is your long-term future. This is kind of the short-term, like, this is what's happening today. How are you going to deal with it? Are we going to easily turn aside? Or are we going to say, get out of here, I'm going straight ahead? How do you deal with these kinds of temptations, or these kinds of feelings, or the criticism, or the doubt, or that creeping dread, or the fear, right? How do you handle those things? Okay, and it could be that Spirit's going to continue to throw those things at you to test you. And each time you pass that test, it feels like your motivation gets stronger. Your commitment, your love, your passion grows and grows and grows. Okay, so we're not even getting angry at these kinds of things. We're seeing them for what they are, but we're also seeing them for the tests, and maybe even for a particular kind of confirmation that it's like once we start getting closer to the goal, It feels like the devil, right? The sort of the evil forces of the universe, whatever you believe in. It seems to work that way. When we start getting very close to our goal, a lot of things start happening to try to thwart us, right? It's like Spirit throws a lot of bad stuff our way. And maybe it's kind of like the final test, the final boss, that we have to keep passing those tests and to make sure. And really what it is the closer we get to the summit of the mountain, the more narrow becomes the path, which means that more and more things feel like they're distractions. More things are trying to throw us off the path because there's only one right step. Because the path gets very narrow towards the top, right? And so it may feel as if there are a lot more challenges. The closer we get to the summit, the more challenges we get. Yeah, because there are more wrong moves when we get that narrow pathway, right? And so it may feel that, that the universe or Spirit or whatever, whoever, is throwing a lot of challenges our way. A lot of things to try to knock us off balance. But we are overcoming that. Okay? We're able to counterweight. In a way, we have the 7 and the 8, right? Which are counterweights. Yeah. So it could be that we're using our mental fortitude to overcome that the emotional imbalance. When something tempts us emotionally, we're using our positive thinking to counterbalance that. Yeah. And perhaps vice versa too. When we start having doubts, we get in touch with our heart, and we get more in tune with our passion, our sense of purpose, and we counteract that. It's counterbalancing each other. So the 4 of Wands is that energy of completion. I think that you're somebody who knows how to follow through. Yeah. And I think that you recognize that fact that if you were to abandon this path now and leave this incomplete, it would not be fun. It would not lead to your happiness. Okay? It would lead to misery and regret. Okay? In the environment, we have the Eon card, the Judgment card, rebirth, reawakening. And that really is a doorway to, and to me, it feels like a dream life. It feels like a new universe is out there. And to me, it's kind of the promise that if we keep going this particular direction, we're leveling up our lives. And it's going to be so significant that it feels like your tests are getting more and more severe. You need to keep doing what you're doing. This is a doorway. Let's do a Divine Doorway Oracle card. Okay. And to me, that is, it's the Judgment card, obviously, right? I feel like this might be your fiery judgment about the people in your lives and about things that are happening. To me, the Eon card is a decision, right? It's a definite yes or no. No minced words, no ambiguity. It's a yes or a no, very, very clear, right? A clean break with something. So I think that as these temptations arrive into your life, I feel like you have to be very adamant in your response to them. I think we have to say no means no, right? It's got to be a very definite decision, a very intentional, very willful. And as the Judgment card, it's kind of, it's us being able to say no to everything that's not leading us to the summit of that mountain. And it feels like the closer we get to the top, the more we're going to have to say no to a lot of other things, because it's going to throw us off balance. Okay. Anyway, let's do our Divine Doorway card. We have a yes. Isn't that cool? Talking about all these no's, and then we get the card that says yes. Kiss and touch. Kiss the ground and touch the sky. Your soul is set now to leap and fly. We're leveling up. We're getting out of the birdcage. We're spreading our wings. So we're saying no to all of these temptations and distractions and doubts. We're saying no to the birdcage because we're saying yes to our future. We're saying yes to the universe, saying yes to Spirit. We need all the no's, right? So we can say yes to what really matters. There's one yes. There are going to be 1,000 no's. And that's because, again, it's getting narrow at the top. There's one yes. There's only one right way to do it. Everything else has to be a no, 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 no. Okay? Spirit's telling you to watch the sunrise and the sunset, or that you do already. You try to catch as many sunrises and sunsets as possible, right? Because I feel like it inspires you in some way. We were kind of pausing to experience the awe of a sunrise or a sunset, or even like the night sky, you know. But particularly the sunrise and sunset, I think it's something that you try to intentionally do. We try to be up for the sunrise and witness it. We try to at least pay attention when the sun's going down, okay? And do you name your house plants? Somebody who names their house plants? Somebody does, yeah. I don't know what the names are, but it's like from a TV show, right? It's after like TV characters or something, yeah. Anyway, so we're saying yes to what really needs us to say yes to it, and saying no to everything else. And we're trusting. We're trusting that we're saying yes to the right things. We're trusting that Spirit's got our back. All right? And the wheel of fortune is turning in our favor. And we're not going to fall victim to the self-sabotage or even the sabotage from anyone else. Okay? And again, that sabotage may be coming in as somebody who's trying to tell you that they have their best interest at heart. And maybe they really do. Right? They're trying to protect you from something, or they're trying to save you the grief, or they're trying to help you. And so they're trying to influence you to turn away from this, to stop doing something here. Anyway, the Devil card is our next card. It's in the fear, worry, concern. Fear that we are going to be lured into that temptation. That's the energy we don't want. We don't want to fall victim to the tricks of the devil right now. Okay? Usually the Devil card is a very positive card. You know, in a way it is. It's kind of like saying, you know, I'm climbing the mountain and I have to have my blinders on and I'm trying to create, I have a driving force, I'm motivated, and I'm trying to get to the very top of this mountain and I'm not going to be distracted by anything. I think the Devil card's kind of doing that, doing a double duty here. Yeah. Because I believe that it is unwanted here because it's throwing these temptations at you. To me, this feels like the final boss before we really, before we get to what's coming after. And I think that Nine of Swords can really become a Nine of Cups. Instead of misery, we would have happiness and fulfillment. But it all depends on how we deal with the devil right now. And I think the devil is trying to tempt us, trying to show us an easier way. Come over here and lie down. It's so much nicer over here. You don't need to do what you're doing. Just come relax, right? Come hang out, come chill. The Nine of Swords is us being separated from our true path, right? It's Mars in Gemini kind of thing. So this is that pain of separation, feeling like I almost got to the top of this and then I fell. I made a mistake and down I go. I think that this is also kind of a painful realization. I think that you're somebody that would rather see the truth of people, rather see somebody's true colors. You're kind of like a give it to me straight, doc kind of person. So through this process of yours, whether this is a job, a career, a creative venture, if this is a romantic relationship that you're trying to build and kind of grow into and trying to develop, I think you're really getting a sense of who your friends are. Yeah, I think it kind of hurts to see like some people don't have your best interest at heart. Maybe it feels like some people are really jealous or they're really trying to sabotage my situation or my relationship, etc. And it sucks to learn that about people. But you're the kind of person that would rather know than not know. So the urgent news today is that somebody you thought was your friend is trying to convince you to give up on something that you know in your heart you need to do. And maybe they're jealous. Maybe they, I don't know what's going on. I don't read third parties. I can see them only through your eyes. And I think you're kind of hurt by what they're doing. And instead of falling victim to the tricks of the devil and falling into that pit, I think that you're just kind of disappointed that maybe somebody thought you were so weak that you would fall for this or something like that. Okay. I think that you're going through this situation full speed ahead, and you're allowing all of this it's like smoke and mirrors, it's like a fog, it's like clouds, right? And then you're just going straight through them and letting them kind of, just disperse behind you, okay? But this, I think, is that painful realization about certain people in your life. I want to see the mystery card. I want this to be the 9 of Cups, yeah? But just because I want it doesn't mean it's going to be so. This is the message from your guide. This is position 11. It's called the guide. Represents the voice of the silence within your soul. Sometimes shows us the character qualities that we need to develop in order to continue going forward. I think it needs to be fortitude. It needs to be the Chariot. It needs to be a 4 of Swords. It needs to be, I don't know, I would like to see the Empress. I would like to see a 9 of Cups, but I feel like it's going to be a card of fortitude. So it might be another Strength card. It might be the Temperance card. If you have a prediction, put it in the comment section below this video. Let's see what we have. That's the Fool. Yes, the Fool. The Fool's not letting anything stick. The Fool is just oblivious, right? The Fool's like just walking down this path and people are yelling and hollering at them. The Fool says, I don't even hear you. The Fool is like, if the Fool is the big fat 0, right? Nothing sticks. So it doesn't matter what people are throwing at you, it doesn't stick to you. You're moving so fast and you're on such a higher level. You're vibrating at such a higher frequency than everybody else. Nothing they say or do is even really affecting you. This is perfect. This is like, I let everything go. Nothing is taking me off of this path. Oh my God, this is like freedom. This is like we're spreading our wings out of this birdcage and nothing's going to get in our way. Yeah, nothing's going to get in our way. I think we're enjoying the path. We feel passionate. We feel like this is what this is my journey. This is my quest, and I'm going to fulfill this quest. I'm going to complete this. I'm saying yes to the quest. And I don't need to say no to anything else because it's not even in my awareness. This is kind of like this is almost an ignorance is bliss kind of card, yeah. It's basically saying like I don't even hear the haters. It's not even they're not even registering in my consciousness. To me, this is the ultimate method of kind of like, of indifference even. You know, if we keep moving, what they throw at us won't reach us. It won't hit, okay? It's extraordinary. This is one. And to me, this also feels like we've leveled up our lives. It feels like this is the freedom of you going through this divine doorway into your future. And I think it's going to be absolutely stunning. It's going to literally be a dream come true. Yeah. But we have to, I think the message here also is that we don't want to be so oblivious that we don't recognize these dangers or these temptations, because then we might accidentally stumble into it. So I think there's kind of a double message here too, that we want to at least be aware of it and be able to just say no to it. We don't want to be oblivious, okay? But I like this card. I think this is really perfect. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, we'll do an I Ching hexagram. We'll do some oracle cards. There's a link in the corner. There's a link down below. New readings for Libra Wednesdays and Saturdays. Be sure to watch both readings. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please do. Leave a comment and let me know where in the world you are watching from. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we are all in this together.